Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Wow, the end of November. The year's really flashed by, hasn't it? It's time to take a look at the pens and the inks that I've used this month. I started the month with all the pens being over 200 Australian dollars. Now yes, I've added in a couple of other pens and they were less than 200, but they were pens that I really wanted to play around with. And let's be honest, what's the point in forcing ourselves to use pens if we're not interested in them? So interesting month because yes, over $200, I've really enjoyed using each of the pens. Some of them have had the challenges. Some of them have really been interesting and have challenged the way I've thought about them. So we're going to take a look at these. A quick ad for some future videos. Starting on the 1st of December, I'll be doing a daily video where I unbox an ink vent door and take a quick look at the ink. So join me now down on the mat and let's take a look at the pens and the inks from November of 2021. So here we are down on the mat. It's time to jump in and look at the pen that I've put in position number 6 for this month. And that goes to this one. This is the Platinum 3776 Century in this gorgeous Bourgogne colour. I love the colour of this. In there I had the Atrementis Cherry. Now this is a gold nib pen. It's a nice pen. All the pens this month are really nice. I've really enjoyed using them. But I do have to rank them. Why this came in at number 6, I know you can't see it here, you need to see the writing. So I'll just pop up on the screen now. What I find with this, it's just too narrow when I'm writing. I really like the broad nibs. This one is a Japanese medium, and to me it's a very fine version of that. So that's the main reason why I didn't like this. I mean, when I'm writing with it, I've got gorgeous feedback. It's nice to write with. It's enjoyable. As we can see from this Tomoe River paper, it goes down well. I haven't had any issues on any of the papers I've used it with. It's got a real nice amount of feedback. It's a real pleasure to write with. It's purely the line that's the only reason that this has come in at position number 6. The other thing I found with this, it's actually very short in the hand, as we can see here. Now yes, if I post it, that's fine. That's not too bad. It's quite enjoyable. When I post it, it does feel heavy at the end. And to be honest, I don't normally post pens, so I keep forgetting to do that. But other than that, really nice, really enjoyable pen. Pleasure to use. It's just too fine. So that's why it comes in at position number 6. So this is the Platinum 3776 Century. Position number 5, well, that goes to the Twsbi Draco. I know, it's a beautiful pen to look at. Look at that, it's so gorgeous. That's one of the things I can certainly say about this. It's a nice pen. It's a piston filler. Holds a lot of ink. I mean, I would say I get about 3 months out of one fill of this. That's not with using it every day. It did run out of ink partway through the month, so I did change the ink. But I didn't write with it after that. That's why I haven't recorded it here on this paper. Still a nice pen. As you can see, one of the nice things, we've got this ink window. There we go. You can't really see much because it's now full. But when it was empty, I could see because that was empty. The nib on this is a broad. Again, one of the things which detracts from this particular pen for me. Look at the pen. Look how small that nib looks. And to me, it looks ridiculously small. You know, it should have been a number 6 nib. And I know every time I do a video with this pen, I say the same thing. I keep going on about it. That's how much it annoys me because it just looks odd. Let's take a look at the writing. So here we are again. We're on the Tomoe River paper. This is 52 GSM paper. It's a nice pen. As I say on here, it's a broad nib and it really does reward writing big. It's not a pen that you could use if you've got small handwriting. I've used it on different papers and again, I get the same results. So it doesn't matter if it's cheap paper or the expensive papers. Works really well on them all. The ink, it looks very flat to me, regardless of what paper I use. So I don't see a lot of character in the ink. Again, that's fine. I don't have too much of a problem, but I do like to see some character in my ink. Let's take a look at it in the hand. definitely bigger than that Platinum, isn't it? It sits really nicely in the hand. I really do like the way it feels. The section here, it's not too narrow. It's really comfortable. So if you want to do a long writing session, it's a brilliant pen for that. So why is it position number 5? I had to order all these, and what I was finding during the month, even before it ran out of ink, I wasn't tending to pick this up. I was actually reaching for the other pens when I needed something that wasn't on that day's rotation. And then even after I put the new ink in, I still wasn't reaching for it. So it's not really an exciting pen when I compare it to the others, which is why this comes in at position number 5. So this is the Twsbi Draco. Let me just reposition the paper. We've already used the first 2 entries, so let's get them up. There we go. Now we can see the remaining 4 pens. Position number 4. Again, it's actually getting quite hard for me to decide what position each of these pens should go in. So I have to get quite picky with my scoring. Position number 4, I decided to give to this one. This is a Pilot Custom Heritage 92. It's another gold nibbed pen, so just like the Platinum 3776, it's also a Japanese medium, but I find that it's got a slightly wider line than I see on that 3776, and that's why I'm able to mark it higher. Let's take a look at our writing. So again, we're using that Tomoe River paper. The first page we're going to look at, this is where I had Robert Oster Tranquility in the pen. I love the ink. I love the colour of this ink. It's a gorgeous tealy colour. We see some really nice shading coming through. Lovely character. One of the slight issues I've had with this pen, sometimes when I'm starting a new sentence, it doesn't write the first letter, so I have to go back. I actually think it's down to the way I'm holding the pen. I don't think it's an issue with the nib, because once I reposition it slightly in my hand, it writes fine after that. Love it with Tranquility. Nice wet ink, nice flowing ink. The second ink that I put in here this month is Diamine Mistletoe. Now, again, it's a nice ink. It's a green ink. I know, weird Gary going for green stuff, seeing as he likes it so much. It's a nice shade though. It looks like a dusty green to me. So it's not bright, it's not in your face. Again, certainly on this Tomoe River, I'm seeing some shading coming through, so I'm getting that interest, I'm getting that character. I've written with this pen and ink, and with the Tranquility on a number of different papers. One day I spent about 4 hours actually using this, and that's why I wrote out that first amount of ink. Really nice, enjoy it. I think one of the things I'd like to try with a Pilot pen is, again, getting a slightly broader nib. The medium's nice, the medium is really comfy to write with, but I'm finding I'm tending more towards those broad nibs. So let's take a look at the pen in my hand. Here we go. So it's ever so slightly longer than the 3776. Not a lot, but it's enough to make a difference. I'm fairly comfortable to write with this unposted. I can post it. It does feel nicer than the 3776 when posted. Doesn't feel too long. Again, my issue is I keep forgetting to post them. But all in all, really nice, really enjoyable. When I'm writing with this pen, the nib, it's soft. It's got a springiness to it. Whereas with that 3776, that felt like I was writing with a pencil. This one doesn't. It seems to bounce on the paper. It's really nice. It's comfortable. Love the inks in it. Not really having a problem, apart from that first letter, which, as I say, I think is down to me. But all in all, really enjoyable and well deserved, coming in at position number 4. So this is the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. At position number 3, this is a newer pen to me. This is by Sailor, and it's the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. This is the blue-green Nebula. I absolutely love the colour of this pen. To me, it's moving more towards the pocket pen size, so it feels very, very short to me. That doesn't make a difference, because I'll tell you something, it's a gorgeous writing experience. Let's take a look at the writing. Now, on here you can see the top part of the writing is slightly different in colour than the bottom. That's because I ran out of ink halfway down the page. It's the same ink. It's just one was when it was virtually empty, the other one was when it just been newly filled. It's small, as I've said, I'll show you in my hand in a minute. I love writing with this pen. There's a little tiny bit of feedback. It's so comfortable. I've got to be honest, of the 3 Japanese nibs that I've had in this video, this is the one that I really enjoyed. This is the one that I felt easiest and nicest to write with. One of the things I want to try with this pen, at the moment I've got Diamine, Aurora, Borealis in this pen. I actually want to try the Robert Oster Tranquility. They're very similar in colour. I know it doesn't look it actually here. The Diamine looks more green, whereas the Tranquility looks more blue, but they generally are about the same tealy colour. I do think that there's more shading in the Tranquility ink, and that's why I want to try it in this pen. And other than that, there's not an ink that I would change this for. I love the colour of the pen. I love the colour of the ink in the pen. I think they're a perfect match. Let's take a look at it in the hand. So here we are. Can you see what I'm saying about it being very short? Certainly a lot shorter than the 3776. This is a pen I have to use posted, and I do remember to post it. That's how much I like using the pen. This pen, it's on its 3rd fill of the month. Absolutely love it. It's a little bit thinner though in the section. I don't know if that comes up. Let me move my hand there in the camera. Certainly thinner, but it's not uncomfortably thin. Again, I've done a couple of sessions where I've wrote for 2 or 3 hours using this pen, not had any issues with cramping or aches in my fingers. For all those reasons, this comes in at position number 3. So this one is the Sailor Pro Gear Slim in blue-green Nebula. 2 pens left. Which one's it going to be? Is it going to be the Diplomat or is it going to be the Leonardo? Position number 2 goes to the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. I will be honest with you, this is one of my favourite pens. If I was to do a greatest of all time list, this would be up there at position 1 or 2. I really love this pen. I'm struggling to get in the camera because it's fairly long. This is the Grande version. Really nice pen. Let's go and take a look at our writing. So in here, I've got Pure Pen's Celtic C. I love the combo. I think this ink looks really nice in this pen. It's got a medium nib on it, but it looks a nice medium. It's not, I'm not going to say it's generous, but it's certainly not moving towards the fine side of medium. One of the things that I feel slightly disappointed with the ink on their website where they're selling it, it's got some gorgeous shading coming through. I haven't seen it in this pen, and again, like the others, I've spent a number of hours writing with this pen on lots of different papers and seeing nothing. As you can see on this Tomoe River paper, there's very little shading, so slightly disappointed by that. I mean, I'll get over it, but I don't know if I'll use this ink in this pen again. Now that's a downside slightly, because this pen, it's a piston filler, takes an awful lot of ink, so I've got to make a decision now. Do I dump the ink that's in there down the sink, because I don't like putting it back in the bottle, because you don't know, you might end up spoiling what's in the bottle, or do I keep writing with it for potentially another couple of months? I haven't decided. I need to think about that before I really next start using this in anger. It's a gorgeous pen though. I really do love it. Let's see it in the hand. So remember, this is the Grande version. It fits so nicely in my hand. The nib, look at that, it's a Leonardo nib, really nice. It's a steel nib, and it is, I've got to be honest, nicer than most of the gold nibs I've got. Beautiful pen. I love the colour in it on this as well. It's got that spaghetti pattern. Look at that. This is dark Hawaii. I just think it looks so nice. There's so much interest in it. But for all this, I've got to rank it, and I've ranked it at position number 2. So this is the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. Position 1 for this month, well, you may have been able to work it out. There's only 1 pen left. So at position number 1 goes to the Diplomat Aero. The colouring of this is called Factory, and essentially it's the raw aluminium colour. I think it looks so nice. I've seen a lot of other Aeros, you know, they do some really nice colours, but to me this just jumps out. This is the one which shouts to me and says this is what you should be using. Let's go and take a look at our Tomoe River paper. Again, it's a very nice pen to write with. It's so smooth. It's a pen that when it's sat there, or even when it's in its case, I will go and look for it to use it. It just shouts to me all the time, use me, use me. That's how nice it is. The ink, again, this is by Pure Pens and it's called St. George's Cross. It's another ink where there's not a lot of shading coming through, so I need to play around with that. Some other inks that I've had in this in the past, they've really looked nice. So we started off with that St. George's Cross. Partway through the month, it ran out, so I changed it for Diamine Aqua Lagoon. Again, another nice combination. I love this Aqua Lagoon colour. And I will be honest, after changing the ink, I found I was reaching for the pen even more. That, you know, both the colour and the pen both shouting to me. It's a nice fit in the hand, slightly longer than the 3776. I would say roughly in hand, about the same size as the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. This is another one. I have tried posting it. It does post, but it certainly does feel very heavy when it's posted. So I do use it unposted, and it's comfortable enough. Nice wide section, fits really nice, handy for doing those longer writing sessions. I've used this pen on a number of different papers, again, without any issue. No skips, nothing like that. It's just a nice, smooth writer. And for that reason, it comes in at position number 1. So this is the Diplomat Aero. Just going to turn the page. So the other 2 pens that I've used this month are these. We'll just do a very quick look at each of them. So we'll start with the Narwhal Key West Los Coloradas. Or as I like to think of it, the purple sparkly one. This is a really nice pen. It arrived earlier in the month. That's why I wanted to use it. You know, I want to play with my pens when they arrive. This one, it's a cartridge filler. Let me just take it off. You would have most probably seen just recently my unboxing video for this. Gorgeous pen. In it, I've got Cult Pen's Little Pip. That's a sheening ink. And if I can catch the light just right, you should be able to see that gold sheen coming off. And it's sheening on virtually every letter. I think this is really nice. It's a broad nib. Again, let's take a look at the writing on Tomy River. There we go. Doesn't that look nice? It really is. It's a lovely ink. I really enjoyed using it. So this is the Narwhal Key West Las Coloradas. The final pen that I used this month is a handmade pen that I bought at Fremantle Markets. So it's a kit pen, but I want you to show you. Look at the gorgeous colouring in that. That looks so nice. So I started using this pen once the 3776 had run out because I wanted to swap another pen in. Now unfortunately I didn't write on the Tomy River paper, so I can't show you a sample of that. What I did do though is I did some writing on Rhodia. So here we go. The ink, Diamine Earl Grey. Gorgeous grey ink, really is nice. I love the colour of the ink. I've got to be honest, my favourite grey ink. The pen itself, when I started using it, it was really rough. So I spent, I'm going to say about 2 minutes, it wasn't that long, working on the nib, smoothing the nib off. And I just opened the tines ever so slightly. I mean, it is a small nib. But after spending that couple of minutes, it writes like a dream now. It's nice, it's smooth, there's no catching, there's no skipping, no hard starts. So I've turned what I thought was a little bit of a rough pen when I started using it into a pleasurable writing experience. So this is the Fremantle Handmade pen. I'll just fetch all my pens in for one last look. So here's the pens from November of 2021. Position 6 goes to the Platinum 3776 Century. Number 5, Twsbi Draco. Number 4, the Pilot Custom Heritage 92. Number 3, the Sailor Pro Gear Slim. Position 2, the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande. The month's winner is the Diplomat Aero. And then my additional pens, we've got the Narwhal Key West and the Fremantle Handmade pen. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Do you have any of these pens and inks? What are your thoughts about them? Which ones do you like? Which ones do you find are a challenge to use? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Hit that thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.